Hey, what's up, guys? This is Moogalord here, and I finally got a chance and finally had the time to actually sit down and play Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, I'm going to give you my thoughts and my first impressions of the game before we dive into it. So, make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So, we are going to dive right into it. So, let's do this. So, I had the game on launch day. I posted in the community tab the picture. I also tweeted it out that I got the game. It was in the plastic, and I never really had a time to actually sit down and play it because I still had to finish at the time the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, which is called Future Redeemed. I finally finished that a week ago. So if you guys are interested and want to hear my thoughts and opinions on that, make sure you hit the card, or maybe down in the pinned comment or description. I may have a link to that if you want to hear my thoughts on that. But I wanted to make sure that I get that out of the way before jumping in Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I know I've earned a lot of subscribers, gained a lot of attention here on this channel due to several videos that I made regarding Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, and you guys can also check that out if you want to hear my full-on thoughts about this. But I'll summarize it here as well, that I wasn't really, even though Breath of the Wild is a great game, I'm not saying it's a bad game, and it seemed like that people still can't get it through their head in those videos. I'm not saying that it's a bad game. I think it's a good game, but I don't think it's a masterpiece like everybody claims it is. And I had plenty of issues with Breath of the Wild, and as I said before, I had got bored of the game. I played the game on and off. It took me about 2 years to finish it because I put it down, I pick it back up, and I just lost interest in it. I just didn't like the Divine Dungeons. I also just didn't like the whole shrine mechanics. And me, like I said, I want a more of a linear story progression when it comes to the story in my 3D Legend of Zelda games. And the fact is that all of the story elements can be totally skipped, and it was pretty much given to you through forced exploration to find Zelda's memories. I couldn't stand that, and it didn't have any traditional dungeons. And I can just keep going and going with the negatives that I had with the game, and I just didn't have interest in it like everybody else. I just wanted to love it like everybody else, but I ended up walking away from Breath of the Wild after completing it, after getting all the shrines and everything, and said this is not worth a second playthrough for me. I'm done with the game. So I was hoping when I made this video, when it came to Tears of the Kingdom, that hopefully Tears of the Kingdom will address some of those issues, and maybe I will actually fall in love with the game this time around. I want to see if there's going to be dungeons in the game. I want to see if there's going to be some type of linear story progression, like some actual story for the game, as opposed to me having to scatter all over the world trying to get those story bits in my Legend of Zelda game. So there's a lot of things that, when it came to Breath of the Wild, I wanted it to address those things so I can actually fall in love with it. So after I made that video, that pretty much had a lot of people in a tizzy about my opinion. And then after seeing Nintendo releasing tidbits of the gameplay, to me it just didn't look any different than what we have seen so far in Breath of the Wild. The only thing was the fact is that you're in the air, you're in the sky, and now you have more gameplay elements up in the sky, even down on Hyrule. And I was saying to myself that, man, this seemed like just DLC, which was intentionally supposed to be to begin with. So I know I'm just dragging on, I'm going on. So that was my personal opinion. So did Tears of the Kingdom, from my first impression, does it so far put my concerns at ease? Has it accomplished that so far? All right, so the answer is, the short answer, I believe so. I think it did. But as I said before, I'm still at the very beginning of the game because I just don't have time. I'm just busy, so I can't sit down for hours to try to actually pick this game apart. But so far, the thing that really got me right now is what I really wanted in a Zelda game, like a modern Zelda game, is story and linear storytelling and progression and more cinematic storytelling. And I will say this, when I turned on Tears of the Kingdom, they weren't playing with this one. It didn't bring up a load screen saying start new game or whatever. It went straight into the game. If you first open the game and you don't have no save file or anything, the game just opens up and it says The Legend of Zelda, and then you're in this cave with Zelda. And right from the start, I will tell you right now, the game looks beautiful. Like Breath of the Wild looked gorgeous, but I don't know how they did it. The game looks better than Breath of the Wild. I don't know how they pulled it off. I'm not sure. Is it because it was more so a Wii U game, just ported over to the Switch? I don't know how they did it, but the game looks gorgeous. It looks definitely. You can see a big difference from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It looks really good, but the game opens up with some storytelling, something that I want. And I don't know what it is too. It's like even when it comes to the voice acting, especially with Zelda, because I also thought Zelda in Breath of the Wild, that voice actress, she was kind of like a hit or miss in certain story bits in Breath of the Wild. She was okay, but right now, like from what I'm seeing of Zelda, I really like how much more jubilant and more expressive Zelda is, and even the actress herself that's portraying the voice to Zelda in this game. I really like how they're portraying her as far as the voice acting is concerned, and this game does feel very cinematic. I love the fact is that once you go underground and you finally run across this version of Ganondorf, man, and just the fact is that the cutscene, you see his corpse just reanimate itself, and then it turns and it looks at them, and it just had that airy feel to it. And then Link, just being a badass that he is, tries to go in and go for the the ending deciding blow on him, and then the sword breaks, the master sword breaks, and then it cuts Ganon, and then Ganon start talking shit. I mean, he talking mad shit to Link, like, yo, bruh, so you mean to tell me that, this is all you got? You supposed to be the hero, and you wielding the sword of Bane, and this all you can do? And then he called out Zelda's name, and he called out Link. Like, oh man. Like, I was like, okay, I'm liking this. I'm really liking, like, it's very cinematic. This is something that I wanted to see, and I'm just hoping that this play through all the way to the end of the game. And I'm telling you, like, I think I'll even be satisfied if they just gave me more story elements more than anything. Like, this opening of this game really got me intrigued. I really want to see where this is going to go, and it essentially just starts you all like how Breath of the Wild did. You wake up, and this time around, Link, he almost died. Like the decay from the malice of Ganon just eating away at his arms and his ribs and shit. And Raru, or however you pronounce his name, he comes in, he gives him his arm, which is the Ultra Hand that he gave him, because that's the only way to be able to preserve Link, because if he allowed it to continue to eat him up, it would kill him. So now Link got a new arm, and now you have to use this arm, and you have to essentially, now with this mechanic, you have to power up this arm to get special abilities, and to be able to have the abilities, I guess, to save Zelda and take down Ganon or whatever like that. But essentially just opens up like Breath of the Wild. You get a chance to understand how the gameplay mechanics work, and I never had an issue with this. I think Nintendo does a good job, especially with the Zelda Breath of the Wild and with Zelda games, but more specifically this trilogy that they have going on here with the Breath of the Wild series. I like how the game doesn't hold your hand. I would say this is the argument that I've been seeing over Twitter when Breath of the Wild had released, and then people compare Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West or whatever like that, or compare Nintendo and Sony games. And I would say this: Nintendo, you spend more time understanding the world and even understanding the story through its gameplay, rather than just sitting down with the controller on your lap watching just exposition on top of exposition. So they're able to blend cinematic storytelling, but still give you control as the player to actually play through the game and to understand the story and the surrounding in this world by controlling your character, by interacting with said gameplay mechanics. And they've done a good job with this. I really like that. Each time you learn, when you got the ability with the gravitation, to be able to move objects with the master hand, they have shrines in the game. Hopefully they're limited. Hopefully there's not a bunch of shrines everywhere, but I understand that the shrines give you power-ups for your arm, and they put your arm for your Ultra Hand. and you learn different mechanics, learn how to utilize the mechanics. And I really like that. And as you travel to certain sections in the sky, there's a little something for you to learn, and it put what you learned to the test, and how to better utilize those tools in order to navigate throughout the land and the skies, and to also how to fend off against the enemies. Because yes, the weapon break mechanic is back. They have to utilize that mechanic, especially if the Master Sword is in the game. And also to compensate for that as well, man, like with the special abilities with the Ultra Hand, you're able to connect different parts to concoct your own type of weapon, which is pretty neat. But at the same time, I don't feel like connecting stuff. Like, I just want to play Zelda. But I respect the mechanic, and there's a lot of creativity, and that's what they want to push. This game is like a sandbox of ideas, a sandbox of opportunity to be able to just, as a player, just come up with things and put it to the works. Use your engineering mindset and skills and ingenuity and stuff like that to come up with little gadgets and everything. So at the same time, it's pretty neat. And even though that there is a weapon break mechanic still in this game, you're never without a weapon, because you can just create makeshift weapons with anything at your disposal, which you'll never run out of weapons. The problem is now is you got too many damn weapons and you don't know which ones to get rid of and stuff like that. So I think it is a pretty cool idea when it comes to that mechanic. Now, you have these things called the Zonai devices. The Zonai devices is left by the Zonai race, where you're able to utilize these machineries and use the Ultra Hand to be able to connect together to make all kinds of mechanical machinery and everything like that. So you can make your own raft, which you can, I'll chop up wood and everything, put it together, put the Zonai wind propeller on it so it can take me across the river and stuff like that. I think that's also pretty cool. You also got this gacha system where you can get a random assortment of Zonai devices at your arsenal, which I had got an actual portable cooker where I'm able to just cook anywhere on the spot for as long as I have a certain amount of those as well. So there's a lot of things you can tinker with. And even though that you could be creative with the Ultra Hand and come up with all kinds of stuff, man, it's so many nutty things that you can do in this game that I've seen on Twitter and stuff. But me, like I said, I just want to play Zelda, man. Like, my engineering and putting together stuff is not all that great, and like I just do the bare minimum just to get the job done to accomplish the goal that I'm trying to accomplish. Because what I found funny was there's this one part in the game where this is still at the beginning, the tutorial area, and I had to reach one of the shrines. Now, in order to reach the shrine, I had to go into the snowy mountains. And now, if you play Breath of the Wild, if you go into the snowy mountain areas or when it's cold, Link can actually get the shivers, and he can lose his health over a duration of time. If he's not warm, if he doesn't have anything like clothing to warm him, or food or elixirs to keep him warm and stuff. So I had to cook up some spices and everything to keep Link warm. So we get up into the mountains because I had to reach that shrine. We need the shrine so I can be able to open that door to get in contact with Zelda. So I finally get up there. I create like 4 meat dishes with the peppers, and it gives me like 6 minutes of heat or whatever like that. So I didn't really have much time to play around with. I had to get up there. So I finally get close enough to the area where the shrine is at. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just climb up this mountain. I want to go try to climb up it. Link keeps sliding off. I'm like, why is he sliding off? I said, oh damn, that's right, I'm in the icy mountain, so it was just too cold. So I'm like, yo, how can I get up here? I'm like, yo, what can I do to get up here? There's no path. I'm running around, can't figure out how to get up there. And now I'm getting frustrated and irritated, and I already ate enough. I ate like 3 of the plates. I don't really have much time left, and I don't have there's no campsite nearby for me to cook some extra dishes. So I'm like, yo, I'm literally going to lose hearts. I'm going to die up here. So what happened was, I forgot. I was like, wait a minute, I forgot Nintendo wanted us to get creative. I forgot at that instant that I have the Ultra Hand and that I'm able to concoct something to be able to get up there. I forgot. So I had to make a makeshift like a bridge or a path in order to get up to the mountains. So I was like, man, what the hell? I said, I'm gonna need something. I like, how the hell can I get up there? So I was like, damn. I said, oh yeah, that's right. It's a bunch of trees up there. So I started chopping down some of the trees, got some logs together. Now, what I do like about Breath of the Wild 2, they really utilize real life physics, mechanics and stuff like that. How objects move and interact with the world around them and stuff. So what I did was I took two logs, put it together, and I tried to lay it on the floor and have it rise up. I had to rise up to touch the ledge of the mountain, and I just, tiptoe my way up the log so I can get up there. Now the issue was, real life physics, I didn't have a support for it, so it would roll off of the cliff, and it kept falling. Now, like I said, me being impatient, and like I said, I want to play Zelda. I don't feel like doing any of this. But I was like, okay, I got to figure out how to keep it stable. So I had to create support beams, like legs or whatever, and it was ugly. I didn't care. I just wanted to put this together. And plus, I was racing against the time when it came to my thermometer before I started getting the shivers and stuff. So I had to think fast. I create this ugly ass bridge, I would say, and I climbed up it and jumped onto the cliff, and I was able to get to the shrine. And I would say that if this is what I have to have in store for me for the rest of the rest of this game, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting but annoying experience that I have to. Don't feel like going through this whole engineering thing, but it's still something that's interesting. That your own creativity can allow you to accomplish these like goals, and everybody's experience of how they're going to accomplish these goals is going to be different from one person to the next, which I think is actually a pretty cool thing that they have going on with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So I was able to accomplish that, which I thought was pretty cool. Like I said, as far as the combat is concerned, it's no different from Breath of the Wild. You still have to be strategic. You really have to really space out and read attack patterns of your enemies. And like I said, you start off with 3 hearts, so some of these enemies hit hard as hell. So I had to start creating particular items that create long range weapons so I can attack from a distance so I won't get hit, and everything. Then of course with the Ultra Hand, you have different abilities besides connecting together, sticking together objects to create, makeshift items and stuff. You also have the ability to actually go underneath platforms to get to above, as long as they're a surface area, you're actually able to go through it, which I think it makes traveling so much easier. I'm not gonna lie and be honest, I love that I'm able to just go underneath. If there's a ledge or a surface above it, I can actually just go underneath and just climb right up to the top. I just think that saves a whole lot of time. So I really dig that. I really appreciate that mechanic as well. And also the fact is that you can actually put objects and different effects on your bow and arrow. It was like this part where there's this extremely dark cave, and we found like this particular like plant where I'm able to it has like light on it, and you shoot it down in the dark areas, and it lights the whole area up. I think that's pretty cool. And so Nintendo, I would say hats off to them. And plus, Monolith Soft helped with the world of Hyrule itself. So after accomplishing all that, I finally was able to reach the surface of Hyrule. And that's where I essentially stopped at. So now I'm about to explore and see what changes happen in Hyrule. But I just wanted to get at least through the tutorial area, just to give you my first impressions and thoughts as I continue to play it. Because yes, I will be doing a review in the game, and this time I'm not going to take 2 years to finish this game at all. I'm going to finish it like I normally finish any of my games that I have and reviewed here on this channel. So you will be able to expect a review from me. But so far, after playing through the game and going through the story so far, it appears that, to me, in my personal opinion, still at the beginning of the game, it seems like Zelda is like in a alternate time, or like an alternate or in the past, and because they're in the same space, but it's like they're in a different time period. So Link can't talk to her, but she's able to leave like traces of her. And I just gave the Master Sword to her, so my guess is maybe she's going to help repair it while Link do his adventuring on his end of the deal, or his end of this whole adventure and stuff like that. So it's very interesting to see where this is all going to go and how all this is going to play out. But that's essentially it. I am enjoying it so far. So far it has me intrigued. It looks visually beautiful. I do like the fact is that I have like the whole world itself is like a puzzle that you have to, you're left to your own devices onto how to accomplish certain tasks and, you know, and certain goals and everything like that, which is pretty cool. And the fact is that Nintendo is allowing the player to understand the world and its story through the gameplay elements, while giving us, you know, me more specifically, that cinematic storytelling that I was, and linear story progression that I was hoping for, and it appears that we may finally got it. So who knows how the rest of this is going to play out as I continue to play through the game. So, but so far it has me intrigued, and as I said before, I'm gonna say it again. Like when I made the last video talking about Breath of the Wild, I said it, and I'm gonna keep saying it, that I want to be wrong, and I can admit when I'm wrong about things. And like I said, so far it has me intrigued, and let's hopefully it keeps me that way, because last time, like I said before, Breath of the Wild kept me intrigued, and then eventually I fell off. But I believe it may not do that to me this time around. So that pretty much wraps up this video for this first impression of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. Do you have the game? What do you think about Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Will this be your game of the year for 2023? Is this the best game, you know, for this generation? Do you think it's better than some of the PS5 exclusives that's out right now, or that's about to come out over, you know, throughout the rest of the year? Definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. So this is Mugen Lord signing off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.